Malka, and when I was 13 years old, in April of 2009, I was diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis.
Alright, my name is Matt, and I've had ulcerative colitis for 13 years.
Hi, my name is Naomi Kadish. I was 15 years old when I was diagnosed with an ambiguous autoimmune disease. Now those words are really big and I guess kind of scary, but really all it means is that I have a combination of different diseases that you may have heard of in regards to autoimmune, or like your immune system attacking itself.
I guess I was 18 when I was diagnosed. I'm 31 now, and basically I got it, I guess when I was in college. I had entered into a jalapeno pepper eating championship, which I won, and I started having intense intestinal distress from that. I thought it was the peppers. I went to a doctor. They checked me out up there and they said, it's not the peppers, it's that you have this disease. And I didn't know anything about it.
The most common comparison I can think of is that my disease is kind of a combination between Crohn's and lupus.
I'm on Remicade now, which is an infusion. So once a month I have to go to the hospital, and they basically, like in an arm, like they put in my arm vein over here. It's a 2-hour drip, and it's an infusion center. It's like a quiet room with all these other kids. And they use Remicade for also Crohn's disease and things like that.
I'm on steroids, which is not the kind you think of when you think of athletes. It's the kind that makes you moody, makes your hair fall out, makes your skin dry. It also makes you eat a ton. I gained, I think, about 15 pounds while I was on prednisone. That's the name of the steroid.
So basically what arthritis is, there's all different kinds. There's like, you can have small joint arthritis or rheumatoid, and it's like affects different parts of your body. Me, mostly happens in my fingers and wrists, but occasionally I get pain in my knees, my ankles, my toes. It's just a lot of swelling, and it's like it's very uncomfortable at times.
Basically nobody knew about it. They thought it was kind of funny. They thought it was like IBS, basically just irritated stomach. But for those of you out there that know about it, you know, anything that's similar like Crohn's and UC, it's a lot more than just irritable bowel. It's you know, pretty painful, and it can be kind of scary too when you first have your experience.
I've always had like pain in my joints and things. I never really thought about it. And just one day, I guess, we just decided to up and go get a blood test, and they evaluated me and my symptoms, and eventually they diagnosed me.
I switched to a new doctor, a new gastroenterologist, who really took the measures that I needed. He understood that this wasn't something that impacted one part of my life. He understood that it was something that culminated in my whole life and that really needed to be taken care of in order for me to go on living my life.
Things started to get, worse. I started getting put on medications, more steroids and stuff. And it was cool. I would fool around with my friends and be like, oh cool, I'm on steroids, But then the thing that really got me was when I went on this shot, Humira.
I never let it stop me. I still played football in college and rugby and lived an active full life, but I get flare-ups here and there, and a couple of times while traveling in other countries I had pretty bad flare-ups that made me think I was maybe not going to make it back home. But I did, and I'm here and I feel good, and it's really not too terrible.
When I was diagnosed, it was really hard for me because I was really living a normal teenage life. But I guess the process really started before the diagnoses, or before the said diagnoses, because I never really got one.
I'm not scared of needles like I used to be, and not anymore because I've had to get them so many times, but it was just this painful, like, burning sensation. Every week I would have to go through it, and I would dread it every day. Oh no, it's Thursday, I have to get my shot, And I would put it off for as long as possible. Sometimes I would make my mom not give it to me because I'd just be so scared. And I hated being scared, so it was such a relief actually when I went on this infusion, because now I don't have to be on the shot anymore. But that was just what made me feel like, why me? Why did it have to be me?
Psychologically, having it and having this disease was, I never really had that much adversity in a lot of ways. I was always an athlete. Everything was always pretty fine. Knowing that I have a disease I have to live with day in and day out, you can get down a little bit. It can get really, really hard and troubling, especially when the flare-up comes up. If you're not in remission or you're not managing it well, it can get really scary and problematic.
I noticed it myself because it was really distracting me from my everyday life, you know, going to school. I was missing lots of school, I was uncomfortable, I was moodier, I wasn't as friendly, I just really wasn't my normal self when this happened.
You know, my family's been very supportive. We have a wide range of autoimmune diseases in my family, from thyroid disorders with my mom and my sister, to a vasculitis that my dad has, which is very rare. So I had a lot of support from them. They understood what I was going through. They were there for me.
My family was really supportive. I really felt that my mom was there for me every step of the way, and that my father was really pushing to find every treatment he possibly could. He never settled for less. He was always involved in the process. He was constantly calling my uncle, who was also a gastroenterologist, to make sure that I was getting the best care possible and really feel like I was gonna get a cure and that it wasn't hopeless.
I'm not gonna blame my friends for not, you know, for not being there every second, always asking, oh, are you feeling okay, when I'm not showing outward symptoms, because, you know, immune diseases, they're really more internal. The person, maybe they feel like everyone should tell that they feel sick and awful, but it's really most of them only you can tell. And so, but really a lot of them, they really were supportive. Like, I told my friends and they would help me. They would hold my hand sometimes when I got my shot.
You know, my friends now know I have it because they're forced to know that I have it. Basically, I go out with them at night, I know I have it. If I go traveling with them, they know I have it. The hardest thing is if you want to start a relationship with somebody or meet somebody new, telling them, when you tell them that you have a disease. You know, do you want to go with the excuse route that, oh, you ate some bad sushi the night before, or whatever it is? That's the kind of problematic thing. That's the hard thing. Again, 13 years on, I'm a lot better about talking to people about me having it. I'm here in front of you, talking to you, but I'm a lot more open. It is what it is. It's what I have. You know, you live with it.
When I went to school every day, I'm not the kind of person who likes to show what's going on in my personal life when I see people, so I put on a strong face. I made sure that when I got up in the morning, I didn't wear a sweatshirt. I got dressed, I put on a nice shirt, nice skirt, you know, did my hair. Most days makeup. If I really wasn't feeling well, I would skip it. But I really tried to make sure that it wasn't something that was known, because I didn't really want people's pity, because I wanted to be able to live my life. So the biggest thing I want to talk to you about is that if you do have an autoimmune disease, I want you to know how not alone you are. There are almost 23 million people in America who have autoimmune diseases. That's a huge number. And if you're a teenager, it's something that's very common. If this is something you're struggling with, I want you to know that you can talk to people and there are people who are there to support you. When I started off with my autoimmune disease, I really didn't have a network of people to talk to. I didn't know how to express my feelings about it. I didn't have someone who'd been through this experience to walk me step by step and say, it's okay, this is what's gonna happen next. The diagnosis does take a long time. Things like needles really aren't that scary once you just relax and don't flex your muscles. Anything like that. Or telling me about all the medical procedures I had. They were just so much harder going in blindly and really not knowing about it. I guess what it comes down to is it's really not about surviving with the disease.
It's not about surviving with the disease.
It's not really about surviving with the disease.
It's about living with the disease.